Can you play faster on acoustic drums or electronic drums? That answer is coming up. What's up guys, Justin Greenwald here. Welcome to 65 Drums. This is the place to learn more about electronic drums. If you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe. So this might seem like an obvious question answer video to some of you veteran electronic drummers, but a lot of people new to e-drums genuinely don't know the answer to this question. This video is for you guys. So first off, it's actually slightly more complicated than you might think because there's lots of different playing surfaces here. Acoustic drums, it's basically two playing surfaces. You got mylar drum heads and metal cymbals. That's pretty much it. Over on electronic drums, you have like these mesh drum heads that Pintec, Millennium, Roland, Alesis, all those guys use. And then Yamaha has their own proprietary foam silicone with air bubbles pad. And then, you've got Aquarians on head pads that feel a little bit different. And then you've got just regular standard rubber pads that e-drums have been using for decades. So all those different playing surfaces have different levels of rebound. As you know, rebound is the time for me to hit the drum and the stick to bounce off of it. Depending on how you tension the drum head, this has a big impact on how fast you can play on any drum whatsoever. So it's actually easier to play fast on an acoustic snare because of how tight we tension that snare drum head. Now with like a floor tom, where you have to detune it a little bit so it has that nice big sound, it's harder to play as fast because there's not as much rebound. You'll notice this if you try to do a roll on a tom, where you hit it hard one time, and then when you go back to the second hit, it's still vibrating from the last hit. Now with an acoustic snare, when you hit it the first time and you go to do a second hit, it's not even vibrating anymore because the drum head is so tight, it's just not anymore. And that's kind of what all electronic drums are like. The drum head isn't still like making this wavy motion for 5 seconds after you hit it like an acoustic tom will. So in this specific instance, you're gonna see a big speed increase, or at least there will be a speed increase on electronic toms versus acoustic. This is all about the playing surface, by the way. Drum shells, all that doesn't have anything to do with it. I'll prove it by showing you this. This is my acoustic Sonar Force 2001 snare. It's now an electronic snare, or an electronic tom, whatever I want it to be. Just by changing the drum head, this is a 1-ply Remo silent stroke mesh drum head, and then all you gotta do is take a drum trigger, put it on the side, and bam, now this is an electronic drum. It's all about the playing surface. One of the big complaints about mesh drum heads is that they're a little bit more bouncy than traditional mylar acoustic drum heads. They do have a greater rebound, and people call this the trampoline effect. This bothers some people more than others. I'm fine with it, honestly. You know what? If you really are bothered by this, you can just detune the mesh drum head. Just take a standard drum key. This isn't just for this. Just any mesh drum pad, all you gotta do is take a drum key and just detune all the lugs just a little bit, and now it's less bouncy. This can be done for any mesh drum pad. Now you do have to be careful because if you detune the mesh drum heads too much, it won't trigger as properly. There's a little foam cone underneath the center of this pad, and when the tension of the mesh drum head isn't as tight, you're not gonna get as strong of a signal from the edge of the pad as you will from the center. So this is called hot spotting, where you have to hit near the center of the pad just for it to trigger evenly. This can be solved really easily by just tightening all the lugs a little bit. Just watch out for that. You can detune it some, but don't overly detune it or else you'll experience those triggering issues. So yes, as a general rule, you can play faster on electronic drums because there's just a better rebound off of those pads. Some people call this cheating. I don't think so. I mean, we'd have to say that electric guitars are cheating because you can play faster on electric guitars than you can on acoustic guitars. Same thing with pianos. You can play faster on a synth than you can on a grand piano, a traditional acoustic piano. It's not cheating, it's just a different instrument. It's an electronic version of an acoustic instrument. I do need to point out that all the mechanics of drumming still apply to electronic drums. Like, you're not going to suddenly become as fast as Buddy Rich just because you're playing a tightly tuned mesh drum head. It's not going to work like that. But you do get a little bit of a speed advantage when you are playing electronic drums. The Alesis pads, the Roland pads, the Yamaha pads, or just traditional rubber pads, the rebound is a little bit higher than on acoustic drums. If you're comparing an acoustic snare to a mesh drum head, it's not going to be a huge speed advantage, but it's more evident on like the floor toms and the high toms, stuff like that. I hope this video was helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. I'm coming out with 3 new ones a week. Go check out my Facebook news and my Instagram drum covers. I'll see you guys in a few days.